Welcome to Game Soup. It's a game design podcast where we throw ideas in a pot and see what's cooking. I'm Chloe Montgomery, and I'm joined as ever by the amazing Kayla Dice. How you doing, honey?
I'm doing good. I've been very fatigued. I can't remember if I mentioned on air last week complaining about how tired I was, but then I, got way more tired. I don't know if it was the heat or other things. Maybe it's a thing if I've been busy, I've had some, dev editing on A Fistful of Stars I've got to respond to, that melodrama thing, which is going well, but has been sort of a bit of a struggle as it's closest to its end point. I think on the whole I'm doing well. I'm just,
keeping busy, are fatigued. Usual Kayla.
Yes, a very classic Kayla response. We're starting essentially a fun new arc on Game Soup, aren't we?
Yeah, we're doing a mini-series within a series.
Well, because we liked the idea we pitched last week enough. And I feel we mentioned this on the podcast and then said we'd talk about it off. Of is this an idea we both like enough we actually want to make something together? Because Chloe, you and I have worked for each other in small instances, but never necessarily made something together.
Yeah, we've maybe, written something for hire, I've written...
I think you wrote a terminal thing, and I've
written a terminal adventure, and you've written some stuff for Tournament Arc that never got released.
Is it not? I quite liked that. There's a Tournament Arc playbook on the next zine whenever you do it. I also
It'll be
wrote
in the
that
last extra time,
paper.
Yeah, exactly. So we've done,
we've worked,
work for hire, but we've never, sat down and said, right, we are making a game together.
Yeah, we've credited
to
each other for Game Soup ideas, but yeah, this is that, and we've gone with the Spider-Man idea. To recap, if you're just joining us, last week we pitched a sort of, belonging outside belonging, inspired superhero game. We were focusing on Spider-Man a lot. And we were talking about a thing where it's there's one player who is the hero, and then the wider world is split into setting element playbooks, and
which are shared around the table. It's one person is the mundane life of the hero, and the other one is the villain of the week or whatever.
Ooh. And then Chloe put some ideas in a document. We've sent some small ideas to each other, but this is our sort of initial brainstorming idea. And one thing I'm going to mention at the top of the episode, and we can then maybe have running in the back of our heads, because I know episodes where we just sit in silence riffing titles for 5 minutes are not necessarily...
it's not good audio, no.
But we can't call it Spider-Man. And I am cautious. We should not lock in a title that could work, but is maybe not that good, because then it may end up being stuck.
Yeah, that's why I'm sticking with Spider-Man RPG in my head, because I know we can't call it that.
Yeah, that has to be replaced. Whereas, I think in the doc you did suggest Secret Origin, which is,
Yeah, it's serviceable, but it's not... the game is about street-level superheroes, and it's not always Spider-Man, so we can't call it, Arachnid Hero or whatever.
Yeah.
It's about your hero.
I feel
so it's Secret Origin. It's a superhero origin story, but it's that could be... That's pretty generic.
Yeah, that could apply to lots of characters, and also probably I feel in some sessions you're maybe skimming over the origin and starting at your Spider-Man 2s or stuff. But yeah, I think our
exactly.
Our
you don't even need to have an origin story.
Is street level with secret identities. And I think this is actually a useful thing, because, I'll read out for podcast listeners the ideas you said. So we said, the Belonging Outside Belonging playbook for the main character, which we'll talk about more, and then unique playbooks for setting elements, which would be breaking down stuff various life aspects of your secret identity, but we also talked about, crime, but then also, mad science and stuff. So the ones Chloe listed... It was mundane life, true love, hero society, mass media, crime syndicates, mad science, arcane arts, and alien invasion. And then I think my initial response to them pretty quickly was I was I wonder if we should split, basically do a slight reshift on mundane life and true love. So it's your friends and family are one playbook, and then your responsibilities, whether that's work or school or another.
Yeah, like, I like that your relationships are just broken down into one thing, and then, like, your job that keeps you going, like, working for the Daily Bugle or whatever.
Yeah, because I just think emotionally there's a big difference between, like, Spider-Man forgets their best friend's birthday versus Spider-Man turns in a paper late. Like, they're both problems they're having so they're both worth being in as, like, setting playbooks. And then one thing I said, this was my other pitch about, like, because mad science, arcane arts, and alien invasions are kind of ways of, like, introducing supervillains. But what my pitch was is maybe 2 out of 3 of them are gated behind advancements, and the one that's not is the one you link to your origin. So if you are...
Yeah, so it's like, if you choose mad science as your origin, it's like, oh, you get the science-based power set or something. It's like, no, your powers come from science.
Yeah.
It's like, were you bitten by a radioactive spider? Were you in an experiment or whatever? Like...
And that means your then initial villains are also going to be tied to science. In the same way it's like, Spider-Man's early villains get to also be, like, people who are mutants and stuff. And then it's like, oh, you unlock. Now Spider-Man has to deal with alien invasions. Or stuff. Or the same way, if your thing is, like, you got your power from aliens, maybe you get, like, a more street-level twist on a sort of Green Lantern type thing. Like, essentially...
Yeah, you get your Ben 10 watch, you're fighting against aliens,
But without then you join the space cops or whatever. It's just like... And then it's like, all your initial enemies are obviously going to be aliens. And you are unlocking via advancements.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember then what else we'd already pitched, and then what can, like, tie into some of our initial...
So you were saying about Hero Society, which is my idea of, like, the Avengers or whatever, is, like, you don't immediately get invited to the Avengers, so that's probably not going to be in session 1.
Yeah, I said also
maybe that's something you have to unlock,
I think probably, this was a thought I had, is that I do think this game, the amount of setting playbooks are more than you would necessarily expect to be using in a given session. I think you are, on an individual session basis, picking what is important, and obviously some of the
maybe using
ones.
2 or 3, and it's like a balance between them,
And I think, that's why some of them need to be unlocked. I definitely feel like... I think maybe Hero Society could be broken down, or maybe
that could be broken even further.
Part of me is almost going, like, maybe we do say that you don't have a super team in this universe, because I think the presence of a super team shifts it about, so maybe the Hero Society is more about getting, like, crossover episodes.
Yeah, it's like, oh, now Wolverine is here, but he's not part of the X-Men, but then it's a thing of, you can, with the heroes you meet, form your team or whatever.
I think maybe it's crossover with other heroes is a playbook that is also unlocked by advancement, and then, like, maybe that playbook has its own advancement track that once you've done enough of those, it's like, you can now try and be part of a superhero team. I feel like would not be the Avengers, but I think maybe you get to be like
your Young Avengers, or your not even like Defenders. Official titles. It's like
all of the random teams Spider-Man has been in before he joined the Avengers.
Yeah, and his amazing friends. Like
that's, I think, the kind of group you get to do, and I'd say it should be an advancement. So when we were talking about, like, the token flow of the hero last week, and I'd said, like, I think it's like an ebb and flow of, like, fucking up, getting fucked up to gain tokens, then using them to do cool hero shit. And one suggestion I'd have is that when you are spending tokens to address problems, rather than them just going back to a general pool, the hero's tokens always go to a setting playbook that is not present in the scene. So it's like, you're spending a token to do cool hero shit, giving the token to the mundane life people.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, if I'm fighting off the big baddie, that means I'm not at the party, which means I'm spending more time not at the party or whatever, making my lack of being there worse or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's because I think it's a thing, like, the playbook, the setting elements, we said last week, the setting elements should definitely have their own token economy, and I think it's like their strong moves are more about creating problems.
Yeah, it's like an inverse of the normal expectation.
Yeah.
Like, you're creating problems for the hero rather than spending tokens to, fix problems, as it were.
Yeah, I feel there's part of me wonders... Well, actually, this was a thought, is maybe we do break down the setting playbook elements a bit more. Like, maybe they don't all work the same way. Because I
think there's certainly space for them to be like, oh, mundane life it's slowly just ticking away and it's building itself up because it just keeps going. Whereas, like, mass media, the newspapers, only increases when you do something, negative against the community or the city or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's maybe also where they flow. I feel like mundane life, when, like, they can give you tokens back to the hero, whereas I feel like, obviously, antagonistic ones shouldn't do that. Their tokens maybe go back to a general pool. Part of me wondered if we, like, this would be getting into a name conversation, which I think is bad podcast audio, but part of me wonders if there's maybe a breakdown of, like, facets of your life playbooks, which is like, personal life responsibilities, like the setting playbooks that are personal versus the setting playbooks that are like
I mean, like, in my little list here, I did sort of like group them into, oh, here's your baddies, here's your normal life sort of stuff, and it's like, I think it could be like a sort of tutorialization in the book where it's like, for your first few sessions, take one normal life thing and one super thing, and then how do those interact? And then later on you can be like, okay, now there's two baddies, or now your hero is trying to balance work and, the mass media scandals against their hero, but it's like they don't have time to deal with being a hero right now.
Yeah, I think as well as this being a game where we say, like, the GM can pick them, we should probably include a bunch of essentially, like, pre-written issues, or not even pre-written issues, more just like suggestions of combinations.
Yes, suggestions for scenarios. It's like,
of just being like,
your girlfriend's being kidnapped by whatever. Like,
just say like issue featuring mundane life, alien invasion, and crime, and then there's a couple of suggestions for plots, but it's more just like, we've, I guess, even suggested, like, complexity levels. Like, oh, this one will be really simple.
Yeah.
Versus later ones where it's like, well, this has got 2 superpowered elements. But also, these are more just, like, modeling the fact of, like, we're not saying these are all the combinations. Obviously, people are expecting.
Yeah, it's just giving expectations for, oh, if I do this, it'll be more complicated. But it's not I think these are the only ways you can combine these.
Yeah, and I think maybe another thing that is also sort of locked behind advancement could be playbooks that are like arc playbooks. Like, I suggested an idea of doing a sort of Venom Suit one of like...
Yeah.
A playbook where like its moves involve actually giving tokens to the hero but replacing their moves with more like slightly villainous ones, and then it's like that probably has
stuff that occurs over multiple sessions. As it were.
But I also think those are probably playbooks where like a thing is like, oh yeah, once this has all been done, this playbook can be defeated and closed off. Rather than
it's like tracks in your Zabers. It's like it adds a new arc to your character, but once that's done, it's done.
Yeah. Versus, I think, a fact of like you cannot remove mass media from the game, I think, but like you can absolutely remove like it's like you don't certain playbooks are like those are very fundamental, but I think arc playbooks like get to do more weird stuff but also like can be closed off and defeated. I'm trying to think of, so I feel like these are some of our decent brainstorming ideas. Let me see if there were any other notes I had of questions. Oh, I guess actually is one thing, is I do feel like the vast majority of Belonging Outside Belonging stuff, if they start doing anything different with setting elements, they tend to rename them.
Yeah, no, I don't think they're set. I think, like, the mundane stuff could be like, I mean, like, literally, we could call half of them mundane and half of them, like, powered or whatever. But then, like, they're not setting elements, they're, like, complications or, like, some...
Yeah, I think, like, facets, aspects, and maybe once we figure out all of the individual types we have, we give them a sort of group word for the combination of, like, arcs, enemies, and...
Yeah.
blah blah blahs.
It's like features, maybe like this issue featuring Mary Jane sort of shit on the cover.
Features, features could be fun. I think we just. I also did have an idea of maybe because of, as we said with the hero, like the arc is like fucking up to gain tokens, then doing cool shit. Maybe we call them like high and low moves rather than strong and weak moves.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Mainly it's because I'm like, I think sometimes I tend to I often rename weak moves to vulnerable moves. But I don't dislike the phrasing of weak moves, but I do think sometimes it confuses people because they assume they're less impactful.
They're worse.
I think they assume it's like weak impact rather than this is a moment of weakness.
Yeah, but it's like you need to do those moves to like stir up plot.
But I think like a weak move in a superhero context would definitely be confusing. I think it's a bit more clear.
Yeah, why would I ever use my weaks?
You're using your low moves because they're you at your lows.
Yeah, exactly. That's good. Yeah.
On terms, we described like the hero stuff. Is there any origins we want to be open to and ones we don't want? I don't think you can be like a tech hero.
I think there's space for it in Mad Science, but I don't think.
Yeah, I think
you
it's
can be
maybe,
an Iron Man.
Yeah, I don't think you can be Iron Man. You can maybe be techie in the same like building web shooters, and maybe that could build up. But I think you've got to start as someone. I think like the thing is the tech hero always implies money, which I think.
I think it's a nepotism thing. It's.
Whereas I'm fine for your powers being tied to aliens because that can be like, oh shit, you got UFO'd and now you've got superpowers.
Now you have psychic powers. I think
there's a thing of whatever the origin you decide, it's probably something that kind of like happens to you rather than that you did.
Yeah. And like there can be heroes in the world who are Iron Mans, but
oh yeah, definitely. I think like the crossover playbook lets you very much do different kind of heroes. I think that lets you also include heroes who are more like straightforwardly aliens or just like heroes who are less relatable. But I think in our origins we should be like your secret identity should be how you've lived your life the largest amount of this time.
Up to this point, yeah.
Should be new.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm now trying to think, is there any other big brainstorm stuff? Have you had any title ideas?
I mean, I'm just like street level or like the amazing Your Name Here. I don't know, like...
That's the thing, it's hard, because I feel like most super hero stuff is just self-titled. So it's like that's
it's like a lot of the existing stuff is either self-titled or is playing very much into like the pulp space. Like I'm thinking Mutants and Mastermind. It's like okay, that's giving a very specific slice of the genre though.
Yeah, I think like probably I guess the biggest thing of this is maybe like the secret identity. Do we want like, the word hero in there? I'm not sure. I think adding hero into most titles tends to make it a bit bad, but also...
It's a bit generic. It's like, okay, so what else is in the comic space? I'm thinking pulpit. No, that's giving writers room. I mean, I guess that's what you're doing, but you're playing as the hero, not the writers.
Yeah.
Like letters page is more a post office RPG.
I wonder if there's something with the word super, and I also wonder if there's maybe something in using... Well, I did briefly wonder, is there something with using a word dream, which most belonging outside belonging games don't do? And I'm also aware that, like, thematically, in terms of an interest of, like... I guess you are by being some kind of freaky hero, probably, a bit outside of the dominant culture, but, like, it's...
Yeah,
its focus on an individual does make it less, like...
It's using the belonging outside belonging system, but you are not really belonging outside belonging.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, is how I feel about Psycho Dungeon too.
Well, yeah.
This will be bringing up weird feelings of crediting things, because I'm like, it makes sense to refer to Psycho Dungeon as belonging outside belonging, because it acknowledges the lineage of games it's in and how much of a impact that had to the development. But also, as I say it, I think in the book, I just say it's built on rather than in. But
yeah.
This being a side thing, but I did briefly wonder, is this like of like Super Dreamer or whatever?
I was gonna say like Golden Age.
But I think actually what we're doing is Bronze Age heroes.
Yeah. But then that sounds less sexy on a cover. It's more accurate, but...
Yeah, I'm very convinced Golden Age has been taken. I don't know by what.
But it is. I googled it. It's on Drive-Thru RPG. It's not even a superhero RPG, as far as I can tell.
Well, that's the thing, because it's also a quite big... term.
Is
there an argument for including the word comic? This is definitely one where we probably come back, but I feel I'm trying to keep this on.
Yeah, no, we don't solve this.
Do we do?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, this is a good question. Because I think what we've already kind of established is we're not really linking your powers to the moves. The moves are more about you doing stuff with your powers, and you're always allowed to use your powers in the narration. As part of character creation, how much do we want to be, like, telling them about their powers versus, or is it, like, pick lists of really big ranges within the idea of, like, you'll figure out what...
Yeah, I don't think it's like, okay, pick 3 moves, then you've got, like, beam attack and stop people.
No.
None of that.
It would have to be more broad stuff, unless you've got one super niche power. Like, I think you can have just super speed or just, like, I
think
shape-shifting.
You just choose whatever you want, and then it's like, you at the table determine how you can use your powers. Perhaps limit yourself at first to just a simple version of it, but as you advance and become more comfortable as a superhero, explore new versions of it or whatever. And like, maybe we have advancements for gain a new evolution of your power or whatever.
Yeah. I think definitely this, we've mentioned this a couple of times, and I think we are both immediately on board with it, of like, obviously this game does have advancement. That feels quite important for, I think, a superhero thing, but also I think it's useful for unlocking more complex stories.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Even if it's just you get one at the end of every session or story or whatever, but...
Yeah, this is maybe a thing we'll explore, because I also wonder, do some of the setting playbook elements have their own advancements? Because I feel that I can see that,
yeah.
I feel like the hero
like
definitely
mass media
does have some.
Advances to sending robots after the hero or whatever, like the Spider Slayer or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I wonder what that could... Because I feel like, crossovers would have its own advancement, because that's how you get to then build the Amazing Friends. Alien Invasion, I feel, could definitely have... I feel maybe some of the villainous ones could have advancements that kind of let them do, like, events. Like...
Yeah, no, your alien starts off, it's just a scout, to, no, it's a full-on invasion, and you need all the help you can get.
Like, I think, maybe some of them have, like... Because I think Alien Invasion, as a playbook, would probably be, like, all aliens, not a specific alien. So I don't think you can ever close it off. Because I think if you've decided that aliens exist in your world, they're going to keep... Different aliens are going to keep coming. But I think it advances to get to maybe that's how it unlocks some arcs. And, like, maybe one arc is, like, full-scale invasion. That's you getting to do, like...
Yeah.
You know,
Another one is you go to an alien world.
Maybe some of them also tie into... Yeah, actually, I feel like, some of the setting playbooks having their own advancements that unlock, like, event arcs would work. And arcs are spin-off versions that can be closed off, because it's like, you can defeat the Skrulls. You can't stop aliens showing up.
Yeah, there's always going to be another alien in the wings.
Is that... Actually, maybe I feel we're going to get close to the end of this brainstorming session. Something I guess I want to ask here is there any stuff you want to avoid that has become more common to some superhero stories? My immediate thing is I don't want any playbook that lets you have cop mates.
I think a player can decide to have that, but I don't think there's specifically the cop playbook.
No, I don't think we build it in. I don't think we have a rule of, like, you're not allowed to be friends with the police, because I'm like...
See, we've already got Crime Syndicate as a playbook, so it's already there.
Yeah. I mean, that's actually, a very... Like, I do think we can easily run that kind of stuff if we wanted to. Yeah, I wonder if also maybe there would be an interesting thing. We'd probably need to think of how carefully you want to play it of like a sort of social ills playbook. I'm thinking of like early Superman, where he's like beating up like corrupt slumlords and like threatening abusers, and like there's something fun of that, of getting to maybe. But I wonder if because I feel that would have to be a separate playbook from crime, but also I'm unsure. Maybe it's more just an aspect. I don't know. That's a thing to think about. But I think avoiding the Cochrane. Is there anything else? I feel like part of why I don't want any super team there is at the start is to definitely like let the story.
I think you start as like one of the first superheroes in the world.
Yeah. Also, because I feel crossovers do gradually turn it into more like. I actually feel maybe the very fun thing of a crossover is if you have a regular group of like, let's say it's 3 people, 1 player, 2 GMs who decide what they do with the like stuff each thing, and then like if you just have a friend who's visiting, you rope them into the game. Yeah, and they're the crossover hero.
I kind of like that. That's cute.
That's like a fun thing, but I'm aware that like consistently doing it probably is more likely to push the game to de-emphasizing that single hero in a way that I'm like it's less fun.
It's like modern Marvel stuff. Like I got to a point where I was only reading like events and like big crossovers, and it's like at what point I'm not getting any character work from any of these books, so it's like I don't care anymore. But then you go to like named after a single character stuff, and it's like, oh wait, this is just so much better.
Yeah.
But then they'd always end up throwing in other characters, like the Jean Grey book from like 2016, 17-ish. I remember really liking, but then it was like, every episode, a new X-Men joins the team. It's like, I don't want a team, I don't want Jean Grey!
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. And I think that's why we de-emphasize that at the start.
Yeah.
I don't think you get a mentor.
No.
Or if your mentor, it's more like someone, it's more the Uncle Ben thing. I don't think...
You get an Uncle Ben, but you don't get... Captain Marvel to your Miss Marvel.
Yeah. Or stuff like that. I think
Batman to your Robin, no.
Yeah. Or like Batman to Blue Beetle or stuff. Yeah, I much tend to prefer solo series. There's some events I've enjoyed. I've liked Final Crisis, but that has actually reminded me. I'm going to say, I don't think we touched the multiverse.
No, God, no. Maybe we can save that for an expansion scene, if we really care.
Yeah, I think if it does well, and we hear of people playing it who specifically say to us loads, oh, I kept adding the multiverse. But I feel like it's overplayed in a way, and also I'm like, it would shift the story around it, but in a more bigger way, I feel, than even having a super team. And also, I feel would like really take away the secret identity focus.
Yeah. It's like you can have a big thing where it's like, oh my god, there's another version of me. Or like you can have a clone saga, I think, but you can't have a Spider-Verse.
Actually, I'm so down to have one of our unlockable arcs be a clone saga.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I definitely think, one of the unlockable arcs definitely does involve your character getting replaced. So doing the Clone Saga, Death of Superman, Nightfalls, whatever. Yeah, I think one thing we'll do in the GM advice probably is talk about a lot of different ways you could actually play this, because I think you could probably play it where you rotate the hero a lot, or rotate the hero between sessions. I'll say, one thing that I think probably inspired my initial pitch of this on last week was having started listening to the Batman Bump in the Night podcast, the Party of One.
I've never got around to that yet. Yeah.
It's really fun, but it's that they Martin and Jeff rotate who plays Batman each week, and I'm like, I feel like some people might like to do that and maybe rechange who's playing what each week. So we should account for that, but I think we should also
It could be fun in a sort of like having 2 mainline comic books running at the same time for your hero, and it's like, oh, one week I'm the writer, the next week you're the writer. It's like you're having your Uncanny Spider-Man and Amazing at the same time.
Yeah, that part of me wondered, because I was thinking of like how Batman and Superman still have like action comics and detective comics. Is there some kind
as
of
well as Batman,
comics thing we name it? But then I'm like, I feel like Sentinel Comics means like that's maybe kind of
Sentinel is about like a full line.
Yeah, I mean,
it suggests
I wonder
a whole
same
world.
Way, yeah, I also wondered about like how Spider-Man debuted. debuted.
Yeah, there
in
you go.
Amazing Fantasy, and a lot of the early Marvel characters appeared in stuff like Tales of Astonish or Tales to Fascinate or whatever. Maybe there's
to blow your dick off,
there,
yeah.
But
there we go. I've got the name. Tales to blow your dick off.
Tales to blow your dick off. Is that a spoiler alert of what the 4D edition of the next Sonic the Hedgehog?
What?
Tales to blow your dick off.
Oh, for God's sake. Thank you for listening to Game Soup. We will see you next time on Spider-Man.
Dinner served.
That's X-Men.
Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes the Spider-Man. Is he strong? Listen, bud, he's got radioactive blood. Can he swing from a thread? Take a look overhead. Hey there goes the Spider-Man.